Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. So the new Italian tank destroyer line is here. It's arrived, and what I've got for you today is a replay in the tier 10. So this is the tank you're going to be working your way towards. Now what I will do is I'm going to, in due course get a replay in all the tanks for you, but I'm going to work my way down. I just wanted to get a replay out for you in the tier 10 first to show you what you are working towards. So what I'll do now, before I get into the replays I've got for you today, I'll briefly go over the tank destroyer just so I can explain, what it's about, and then we'll just get into the game so I can just show you what it can do. So for the tank, it's got a 5-shot autoloader gun. You've got 265 penetration on the standard rounds with 530 alpha. And then on the premium rounds, you've got the heat shells of 330 pen and obviously 530 alpha. But an interesting thing to note about the heat shells on this tank, it's not your typical like E100 slow heat shell. It does actually have a high velocity shell round on the heat shell, so it is going to travel a lot quicker. The basics principle of the tank, it's not very quick. You've got top speed of 30 kilometers an hour, but what it does have is absolutely fantastic turret armor. You can bounce a lot of shots when you're hull down. The main weak point on this tank is the lower plate, and then the side armor's not particularly great, so you need to, when you're facing a tank, you essentially want to hide your lower plate and face directly towards your target. So you just want to be square on to your target, and if you're covering that lower plate and you hold down, you're going to bounce a lot of shots, which you will see in the replays I've got for you today. So the concealment on the tank's pretty good. I've got this down to 251 concealment. As far as equipment's going, I've decided I'm running camo net to get that camo down, optics for your view range, and then I've got vents just to boost the overall performance of the tank. And I think now let's just get into the replay and we can see what it can do. Okay, so the first game we got here is on Serene Coast. Now this is one of the more average games I've had in a tank, and I thought what I'd do, as it's a brand new line, is I would release sort of one average replay in the tank, followed up by a particularly good replay in the tank, which really will show you how the armor can at times be fantastic. It'll definitely show you that in the second replay. But here we go on the first replay on Serene Coast. It's team destruction. Now initially I was planning to push up to the ridge in front of me, a position where I can go hold down and utilise my armour, but I've quickly realised that I'm going to be pretty much by myself there, and that's not a good situation to be in this tank. So I'm going to have to, I've really got no choice but to fall back and come up with a different solution, maybe get to a position so that I can cover when the enemy tanks do come this way, because there is quite a lot of tanks going that way. This tank, it's not like I'm in a medium tank which has got a bit of mobility where I can go there, get a couple of shots in and then retreat. Once you've got to position in this tank, a lot of times you're pretty much stuck there and you're going to have to dig in. So I didn't think it was wise to go there pretty much by myself, because one, the front police are going to be shooting at me. Two, if you get outgunned and outnumbered in this tank, the weakness is when the enemy team get behind you. If you get a tank get behind you in this tank, you're in real trouble, because it doesn't turn particularly quickly, and you've only got a turret which turns sort of halfway. It doesn't, it's a semi-rotational turret. It won't turn all the way. It does have I forgot to mention at the start, an 8-second interclip. So the sort of idea of the tank, I guess, is that sort of sustained damage. So you've got 5 shots in your clip, for your 530 alpha. So you do really hit hard when you're hitting those shots, but then you've got that 8-second interclip. So the real idea is, when you're on the full reload in this tank, is try, if you can, not to let the enemy team know you're on that full reload. Try and keep them guessing. You've got those 5 shots, so keep sort of poking, trying to slow them down for as long as you can before you get that reload in. And the overall reload at tier 10s is pretty decent. It's like a 20-second reload, so you're really not waiting that long until you got your your full clip in. You've got that sustained damage again. So as you see, the enemy team have full committed the other side. It's team destruction, but I'm just going to wait. You know, they're going to have to cross to try and get to us. I'm in a good position. I'm hold down. They're going to struggle to dig me out from this position. I've got a big ridge to my left, a big rock to my left, so which is going to protect me from the fun police. So yeah, I'm in a pretty solid position here. I'm going to be able to get some shots in, get some real punishing before they get over. I track the E75 from position and he gets, you know, seriously punished for it. He does use his repair kit, but I'm hoping I'm going to get another shot in here and maybe be able to take out this E75 while he's in the open before he gets too close. So we've got 2 shots remaining. E75 has got themselves behind a bit of cover. We're going to look to try and pen the cupola here, the E75. Unfortunately, the shot doesn't land true and puts us on the last shot remaining there. 1 shot Centurion. We're looking for the finish. He does dart into cover before we get that opportunity. I'm going to chance this last shot, but now here we go. We're on the reload. I swapped to the heat shells because I thought I'm going to need them, you know, to make, you know, I'm outgunned. I want to make sure I'm penning these shots against the heavier armoured tanks, but I keep poking. You know, I don't want the enemy team to know I'm on reload. I don't want them to push us because I don't have a lot of support with me right now, and if I get outgunned and they all send over, I'll be in a little bit of trouble. So I keep poking, making it look like I've got shots available, and before you know it, we've got a full clip in and we're ready for action. We get 1 shot into that enemy heavy tank. We're looking to try and get a second into this E75. Unfortunate there, that one doesn't pen. But it is what it is. Another E75 is pushing us. It gets tracked, but we should have to finish just to take care of this tank. And then we get rammed by the chisel. I don't want this chisel to go all the way around on us because then we'll be in trouble. We're trying to push around. We save our shots because the enemy light tank comes around. Again, I don't want this light tank behind us. Unfortunately, we managed to get our rear to the rock and we should be able to get the kill, but it gets taken out by the artillery anyway. Get 1 into this chisel here. You know, we're trying to back round because I do actually now have support from this tank destroyer. Just trying to make myself as hard to dig out as I possibly can while I'm on my reload. And Chisel's not really going to be able to push me because you see we've got a support from our friendly TD, thankfully. E75's out in the open. We're going to look for 1 into lower plate. Unfortunately, our heat shell doesn't land where we wanted it to, but it does track the E75 in place, but he does use his repair kit. We should have another crack at it here. We get 1 straight into lower plate, putting us into 4,000 damage. 1,000 assistance, and now we should have an opportunity for the finish, and this game is sort of, you know, turning in our favour now. So I think we made the right play at the start just to fall back there because we really slowed the advance down enough for our team to win the other side, and at that point the game was pretty much over. We get 1 shot into his heavy tank. We've only got 1 shot in the chamber now. We're not going to reload because I don't think we're going to get another opportunity. We just turn the full send this heavy tank here. We got 1,000 hit points left. We're just going to go in and try and get the 1 last shot in. Even if we eat 1 in return, it's not really going to matter at this point. It's a 7 versus 2, and now it's a 7 versus 1, so this game is done. We push over. We're trying to just push him back. We don't have the shot here. The second we get into his engine deck, we got a shot. Well, there's his front plate there. Shooting down, it's not going to be a difficult pen. And now we're just waiting for support of our team. And this game, again, the first replay, I say a bit more of an average game I've had in this tank. But then we do come on to have a really nice replay in the second one. Let's just see how we got on, and then we'll move on to the second replay. So we get 2 kills, 5,500 damage, 1,000 assistance, and 1,600 block, picking up the second class. But that's it for replay number 1, and the final replay is coming up. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then, and we are on Lakeville, and as you can see, there isn't actually any fun police in this game, which is very handy for us because it allows us to play a position which is particularly good for the armour of this tank, which we may not necessarily been able to play had there been the fun police in the game. And that's what we're going to try and do. As you can see, a majority of our team again have actually pushed the other way. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to necessarily push as aggressively towards this ridge as I might normally do so, because like I say, we don't have a lot of support. So I'm going to stick around in this sort of location, a location where I can go hold down, utilise the armour, hide the lower plate of the tank, and basically I can expect to bounce quite a lot of shots. Now initially I kind of moved forward there, seeing if that front ridge was going to be any better for me, but I'm kind of thinking, you know what, I don't think it is. It's better here, I'm a little bit higher up, I'm going to have, you know, more shots available to me. So firstly we spot this Conqueror. Now the Conqueror is trying to go hold down to us, so it's a little bit awkward for us, but we can actually pen the Conqueror through the gun manlet. So if it actually exposes that manlet there, it's not like the Super Conqueror, you can actually pen that there. On Concept 1B, actually, it's, you know, just peaks a bit too high, and we get a nice shot through the track, penning that, bouncing our first shot in return. But it does damage our gun, so we are going to need to repair that, so it's going to be easier to get these shots in. And as you say, if you look at the mini-map, you know, the majority of our team have made the push the other side. So there you go, what I was talking about, the gun manlet there. If you shoot just around the gun and that little manlet around it, you can actually penetrate that, which we do, putting us onto 1,000 damage there. And we're just waiting, we're staying patient. We suspect there's tank destroyers covering these tanks. It usually is, so we don't really want to push forward. We're just waiting for the shots available to us. You know, we're in a strong position. Our enemy team have pushed the other side. If we do start to win that side dominantly, but now we'll start to push forward. Enemy bar actually starts to climb this. Now that bar has absolutely zero gun depression. We're able to squeeze one in. Unfortunately, we get tracked in place though. But thankfully, he really doesn't splash us for nothing at all. So we get away with that one. Putting us onto 1,200 blocked, 1,500 damage. And we're just waiting for this reload. We have swapped to the heat shells here because for the easier penetrations. At the moment, it's unclear whether we're winning the other side or not, to be honest with you. We're going to try and get another shot into the bar there, which we do, putting us under 2,100 damage, putting the bar onto a potential 2-shot for us unless we low roll. We're going to look to try and get one in. The bar actually splashes us, but again, you know, he's hitting our strong turret armor, and it really doesn't do a lot of damage at all. We put that bar then onto a 1-shot, and we'll just look and see if we can squeeze another one in for that Conqueror's gun manlet if he does expose it to us. Again, just playing very cautiously here with our hit points. We are in a very strong position, and I don't really want to push further forward where there's that Type 5 at the moment, but I don't have to, because he's just going to keep splashing us, and I don't feel like we really need to do that. But it does look on the mini-map like we've started to lose the other side, so that is a bit of a concern for us, because we do, as we said, that we squeeze another one in for the manlet, that Conqueror. But yeah, we lose the other side, the enemy team could potentially trap us in a situation where if we haven't won this side and we lose the other side, we're going to lose map control, and that's not going to be ideal for us. These enemy tanks here are now starting to be a little bit cautious, and they're not pushing so much forward and presenting the shots at the moment. So as you see, the location on the other side of the map we have lost, and I'm starting to think about turning around to get some shots into there, just to try and basically entice this team. If they know that I've relocated out of this position, they may start to push forward a little bit more, and then I can turn around and go back and get more shots in. But at the moment, they're not presenting the shots for us, and we're losing the other side. You know, we're on a 9 versus 14 here. So this game's, you know, although we're having a decent game for ourselves, decent start, I should say, it's not looking so great. But as you can see now, second we've left, they started to push up a little bit on this side. Now I need to go down. The problem is we clearly lost the other side. If we lose this side as well, they're going to push up, be behind us, and we're going to really have no chance. So I've decided if we want to win this game, I'm going to have to kill these tanks. So I'm going to have to push forward and maybe a few shots to get there. But I have to kill them, because if we don't, I do feel like we will lose this game, because again, like, the teams they'll be coming from behind us, coming from the other side, and it's really not going to be, you know, very good for us at all. So I'm going to have to try and deal with this. We're waiting to see, you know, we want to try and get an opportunity just for these shots to go, so we can get in and get hold down again and start dealing with these. Friendly Terrain gets a shot in there, but we're trying to push forward now. We've got an opportunity. There's a type which is a 1-shot. We take out the 1-shot. That is good. These tanks aren't on the, you know, the fullest as hit points. The Conqueror is probably in the most annoying of positions for us at the moment. We want to try and take out this Conqueror. We've got 3,000 block. We take out the one-shot bar there, which is nice, leaving us with 2 tanks, which I suspect there may be something covering them though. So we're trying to poke forward. Like I say, we're under pressure here. We need to get rid of these tanks. We get one shot in there, and then we bounce the ship bomb at the back of the map. We know he's on reload. We're going to take that opportunity to try and finish off this Conqueror. We're taking a few hits in return there, but we had to kill that tank, and that's kind of secured this side up a little bit. I'm trying to just get back into cover now, because I don't want to give that S-Bahn another shot into us now they've reloaded, especially when I am a one-shot to the S-Bahn if he does penetrate that shot. But that's going to help us quite a lot now, because we're now sort of, for all we know, there's only 2 tanks down there. There's like the one-shot Concept B and the S-Bahn, which is right at the back of the map. So now I'm going to go and turn my attention to the other side where the enemy has started to make an advance, get into the cap. Again, I can actually play hold down, fight in the cap, which is good for us. I just couldn't play that position if we hadn't won that other side, because basically enemies will be come behind, shoot us in the rear. We'll probably end up losing this game, but I've got to try and help my team out and deal with these tanks in the cap circle. We've got our 50p there. It actually goes on to have a good game, and it helps us quite a lot. And we're just going to try and get into position here. So we'll hold down. We suspect there's tanks covering these ones in the cap. 58 comes out. We bounce a shot off of our turret. We get one in return. I'm not pushing round for the resets, because you see I'm almost certain there's tanks camping at the back. There you go, one of them's a Terran. He gets spotted, we get one shot in. We're just praying he's not going to get a shot in, and he gets taken out by a 50B. Very, very helpful there. Very dangerous tank, taking out. Leopard's a one shot. We're going to focus a one shot. We get that shot in. 58's coming back round for us again. We bounce the shot off of our turret, looking for the return shot. Unfortunately, he gets into cover, but Karan comes around. We track him into place. He gets stuck there. Now we're going to look to try and get our final shot into this Karan if he stays tracked, and we do, put him onto a one shot, putting us onto 7,000 damage, 6,700 blocked damage. Going back on the reload, pulling back around the corner while we're on this reload. There's 2 tanks in front of us here. We know there's at least 2 tanks behind us as well. Now there's 3 tanks here, so we know what all the tanks in the game are now. The 3 tanks here, one just gets taken out. There's another 2 in front of us. There's another 2 behind us. We're trying to get a shot into the 58 heavy there. We bounce a shot off of our turret, putting us onto 7,400 blocked damage. As I say, the block damage is good, but we're trying to just get a finish if we can on this 58, because the enemy team are now behind us. So this is kind of forcing us to try and get this kill. Thankfully, we get the block. 50B takes out the 58 heavy. He then takes out the second tank behind. Very, very good, and putting us into a good situation now, because now we know where the 2 tanks are remaining and they're in front of us. We want to try and push and kill this Concept 1P before the S-Bahn basically gets here, because then at the moment he's by himself. We know the S-Bahn's behind him, probably making his way advanced up, because you'd like to think he's going to try and get there and help his friend. We can eat one shot of this Concept B. We will do if we need to. We don't, we get the kill, and now it's just this enemy S-Bahn left remaining. He does unfortunately take out our 50B, but he is reloading, so we're going to try and squeeze one in, which we do. Now we're going to go on to the reload, putting the AP shells in, and see if we can deal with this S-Bahn. We're in a 2 versus 1, but our QL there with us is a one shot, so we do have to tread carefully. We put a lot of hard work to get to this situation. We want to make sure we win this game here. So we're on reload. We've got 8,000 damage, just almost 9,000 block damage there with 5 kills. S-Bahn fires. We get one shot in. He's still on reload, so we're going to push, knowing that they're now on a one shot. Try and get our final shot into him and get the kill if possible. Because then we could potentially finish up with a top gun. There he is. He's not looking for a shot on us. We get that kill, bring us an end to the video. So let's just see how we did there. So we managed to pick up 6 kills, 9,100 damage. We do confirm the ace tanker, and I think we actually block, we blocked 9,000 block as well. So it does show you how effective this armor can be, getting the high caliber and the top gun and the steel wall there. So yeah, that is it for the replay. But what we're going to do, like I say, I am going to start working my way down now, getting the replay in the other Italian tanks. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!